Okay, guys, it's me again. Hope everyone's doing well. This one's going to talk about community policing. Let me ask you something. When you think of community policing, what do you think of? I know when I think of it, I think of neighbors who are watching out for each other, who are paying attention. If you've got random people in your subdivision, going through mailboxes, checking doors to see which home they can target. Then the community steps up and, someone questions, run them off, whatever the case may be. I think of two kids getting into a fight in the middle of the, in the yard or something, or in the park there in your subdivision. And I think of the other residents in the subdivision intervening and stopping the kids and, correcting them, taking them home, discussing with the parents. And if one of them want to be a little snot-nosed and jump bad, I think of one of those community adults checking that child and then take them home to their parents and, go from there. I think of people being just that, a community to each other. But here's the thing, when you hear community policing, now you're hearing snitch. You're hearing tell on your neighbors. You're hearing report everything to 911 or authorities. You're not hearing go next door and find out why husband and wife are fighting every night and, she's screaming for help and he's beating her, whatever it may be. You're not hearing go address it or try to be a help in some way. You're hearing, nope, don't do anything, just pick up your phone and call us. They want you to snitch. And in all honesty, in an abusive situation, snitching may be necessary, but it may be that a couple of the men in the neighborhood get together and go to him and say, look, bro, we ain't going for that. Do it again, we coming for you. Put some shock or some fear into him to make him rethink. And then discuss with her, maybe make an exit plan or a plan to check on her periodically throughout the day, whatever the course. You can do some things, bottom line, yourself without involving authorities. That's my point. By no means am I saying don't contact authorities if someone's life is in danger, but we have to determine that the life is in danger. And two kids fighting in the yard, life is not in danger. Somebody coming to break in, life may not necessarily be in danger. That's stuff that your community can take care of. And reality is, if people knew that other folk would speak up against these wrongs, they wouldn't do them as much. They're doing them now because folk ain't saying nothing. Or if they are calling 911, how long is it going to take for the police to get there? So they do what they got to do and get gone. But my point in this was pretty much to highlight the fact that community policing now is considered, you call 911 for everything. You involve government, you involve authorities for everything. You don't try to handle anything on your own. That's what they want you to do. That's not what we need to do. They want you to snitch if your neighbor walks out, like one man walked out, he had a mask on and he went to go take the trash out. And police gave him a fine because somebody snitched. Oh yeah, he's outside his house. Really? Really, people? How's the trash going to get out? Oh, it's going to grow wings and just walk out of his garage or kitchen down to the road? It's got to get out somehow. They want you to stay at home. Now, here's the kicker. Just because you believe everything you've seen on mainstream media, you believe that, there's this unseen thing that's in the air that's going to kill us all, fine, you put your mask on and you stay in your house. If you're in your house, what does it matter what your neighbor is doing? If he's not attacking you and you don't want to get involved, you don't want to talk to him, don't go reporting him to the popo. Here's the other thing. How do we know what's essential? Who determines what is an essential need? So if you're not going to be a neighbor and know what's going on with the people in your community or in your subdivision, your building, wherever you are, how do you know he's not going to the doctor? How do you know she's not going to the grocery store? How do you know they don't have a child at home who ran out of milk and they've got to get out and go find some milk for their baby? We don't know those things, but we would rather involve the authorities, add a fine, add potential of stress and high tensions and words transferring back and forth in situations to escalate way beyond what they need to be. Either mind your business or be a neighbor. But if you're going to police your community, do it such that it benefits your community. Don't do it so that it's benefiting the people that are oppressing you, that are taking away your liberties, that are inflicting emotional, financial, physical, medical harm onto people. Really? People, we got to wake up. We got to wake up. Because what happens in the long run, every time you snitch that somebody's not wearing a mask, or somebody's less than 6 feet from the next person, or someone's got more than 10 people at their house. Suppose 10 people live in their house. Suppose 15 people live in the house. So what, are they against the law already just because it's more than 10 people? What happens as the financial impact of all of this begins to show itself in a mightier way, and people have to move out of where they are and go move in with the sister or the mama or the, whomever. Or for example, suppose a set of parents, they have 3 kids, and all 3 kids are married, and they each have 2 kids. So you've got 2, 4, you've got 3 sets of households with 4 people in it. 4 times 3 is 12, plus the initial 2 parents. What happens when the economy has hit them so to where they all have to move back home and cram up in one house until they can refigure out life? Oh, but wait a minute, we got to call the police because it's more than 10 people. Come on, guys. Just because you believe does not mean you have to restrict everyone else's liberties that don't believe. We got to be sensible about this community policing. But either way, we need to stop snitching. You call the police because you see someone dead in the street. You call the police or the fire department because you see a building on fire after, not after, while you're also trying to evacuate and, do whatever you can. But you don't call the police because somebody came outside their house, or they didn't have on a mask, or, some little, especially anything got to do with this pandemic situation. There's too many contradictions with this whole pandemic for anybody to take, and let me get my words correctly, for anybody to take seriously the issue of having to report everybody to authorities. There's too many contradictions, even from authorities. So it would make sense for you to just stand down or talk to your people, talk to your neighbors, find out what's going on. And if you really feel a need to snitch, then go snitch. I just was never one of those. There's a lot of contradictions, stuff's not sitting right, too much back and forth information. I'm not adding any unnecessary stress into people's lives by involving authorities or other entities or whatever. Just doesn't make sense to me. We're going to have to wake up. We're going to have to wake up, people. Not, people perish. And what happens? You go snitch on them because they didn't wear a mask. Suppose they can't get a mask. Suppose they don't know how to sew. Suppose they don't have a sewing machine and some miscellaneous fabric and elastic and things like that, most seamstresses or people who sew would already have a box or a bag stashed somewhere. Suppose they didn't have that stuff because you can't find it in the stores. Hobby Lobby has been shut down all this time. Michael's is out of stuff. Walmart they clean Walmart shelves out everywhere. What else is there? Michael's, Joann's. The line to get in Joann's is ridiculous. Oh, but that's right, you can't go to Joann's because somebody probably thinks it's not essential. And so if you leave your house to try to go to Joann's to buy fabric and a sewing machine, if you can find one, to try to make you a mask, or needle and thread, you don't need a sewing machine. Feeling threat. You might have someone call the po-po on you, snitch, and then you wind up with, what, $500,000 fine that you already don't have because you're not working. You're struggling to keep stuff going as it is. And now the issue has just compounded. And this policing, what does it wind up doing? It winds up creating animosity between the neighbors, between your upstairs neighbor, downstairs, next door, whatever. And this is, and that's further divide and conquer. This is not a time for people to be dividing anymore. It's time for people to start uniting, period. People have got to start banding together. Small bands, big bands, doesn't matter how big the bands are, but folk gonna have to band together because can't nobody get through this by themselves, period. We are fighting a war on so many fronts, and I've said this before, you can't cover yourself all the way around. If you're looking forward, you're not going to see what's to the side and to the back of you. That's why you need somebody with you to have your back and to have your left and right sides. And you do the same for someone else. Because it's coming. It's coming hard and heavy. And the more we snitch, the more we pit it against each other. Oh, yeah, he came out his house. They went somewhere and they stayed gone for 4 hours. Or they had company over and that company doesn't live in the house, so that company has no business there. Really? The only thing you're doing is creating animosity. So when stuff gets worse, mind you, I said when stuff gets worse, am I going to want to unite with you? If I get an opportunity where I want to take shots at you, and not necessarily shooting a weapon, but take pot shots at you in some kind of way, or get back at you, wouldn't I want to? Because this animosity has now been set between us unnecessarily. Use your head, people. In the meantime, be well.